Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another hat show. I was about to say T Boy discusses. I've done flipping 3 in 2 days. Would have been a fourth if that's the case. But yeah, we are back again with another hat show, episode 261. And in this one, we will be talking about the transfer news and player extensions and things like that. Obviously, I've spoken about on T Boy discusses recently. And then obviously we'll be previewing the Burton Albion game tomorrow. We are back again in League One, obviously after having a week off. Obviously, for the first time in a while, there's obviously no constant games for the last week. So, yeah, we are all set and we have been set for a while on this Burton game. But first of all, Dad, before we get into anything, how have you been the last couple of days?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Glad it's rained a bit. Sun's out still. It's what we need. End of the summer, but let's hope we have a Indian somewhere in the autumn. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully. But the first thing we'll get into, and it did come out today, there was rumours circulating last night of the possibility, but it has officially come out now. That is TAHITH Chong. He's joined Sheffield United. Now, I'll tell you something that I didn't even mention on the videos, which I knew his time at Luton obviously wasn't great. I wasn't the biggest fan. He actually only got 1 assist for us the whole time he was at this football club. Like that is shambolic. Like let's just be real with it. And that was against West Brom. That was his final competitive game for Luton as well. That's crazy. But yeah, obviously when it comes to him, I felt it had to happen. Like I've said numerous times, I don't think he could have dealt with the physicality in this league personally. I remember last times we watched him, Dad, together, whether that was Premier League, whether that was Championship, he just got bodied off the ball way too easily. And, it's got to a stage now where a lot of fans weren't really on board. There were still a few that would, going to back him if he was going to come back in. But I did think, and I mentioned it on the video, I thought Bloomfield sort of done a smoke screen on it because he sort of said last week, that he should be back for this game. And in the press conference on Wednesday, I believe it was, he sort of got asked about it and he was like, oh, I'm not too sure now. And it was sort of like obvious that something was going to happen. Obviously, he did mention other players that are out, like some Walters, Mengiu could be another one to go, and obviously Anderson. But Anderson's played a part. And yeah, it's one of them I felt needed to happen. Like, let's be real. Like I said, his best performance against, at Kenilworth Road was against us. Let's be honest. He had that Liverpool goal, and that was it. Overall, for a player that had so much, high hopes for, being at the Man United Academy and things like that, it just works best for both parties. I'm a little bit surprised that Sheffield United are the team looking at him. I mean, I know they've had a shambolic start to the season, still on 0 points, but, a team that was chasing the playoffs, and obviously did get in the playoffs last year, did lose in the final. I am surprised because, a couple of weeks ago, especially in this group chat, I mean, a lot of people were saying, it'd be difficult for us to get rid of players like him because he hasn't really shown that, that sort of quality that them sort of teams will want. But they want him. Is that maybe a part of how they've started? Who knows? But yeah, TAHITH Chong, it had to happen, didn't it, Dad?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was he's on 30k a week apparently. He probably believes that he's too good for League One. He has got a lot of technical ability, but it's definitely not suited, as we've discussed many times, to the lower leagues. And yeah, he just think for a kind of star signing, if you like, we had brief moments, but again, that's down to his technical ability. But he wasn't consistent. He wasn't really a Luton player. Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't work hard enough. Like I say, he's a luxury player. So let's see what happens. I think they're struggling at the moment. I think he'll do all right there, but he won't light up many trees and shit. And yeah, we got a little fee for rumours are 2.5. Something probably lost on that because it was a clause with Man United as well. But if he's on 30k a week, then that's cool. I'm not too fussed.
Yeah, the same here. Like, I'm not. He is one of probably the main players I wanted to get out because, like I've said numerous times, I just don't think the physicality. I just don't think he'd be able to handle it. And in the championship, obviously it's still physical, but not as much. And I do think maybe there is a part of Sheffield United start why they do want him. They're just sort of looking to get anyone in. Obviously, well, I wouldn't say Chong's a great signing, but a good signing they did do was Tanganga from Millwall. I think that's a pretty good signing. Obviously the day before. So yeah, it'll be interesting with him. But I'll be honest, me personally, let me know if you're the same in the chat. But sometimes I do like to look at like how players have done that have left. I'll be honest, I've done it with Morris, recently in particular. But him, I'm not asked. I'm not going to be looking at him like I just felt it's so disappointing, so underwhelming. And I remember going to games. I think I mentioned it on the last one um, with Harry, who used to obviously watch Birmingham a lot. And even when he used to go to Luton games with me, it's like, what is he like? He's been poor. And obviously, you see him consecutively for quite a while when he was there. And yeah, it just didn't live up to it, really. Got a couple of Prem goals. That was it, really. Like, let's be honest. And yes, sometimes he played wing back, which just weren't great. But still, I've seen better play. I've seen players play there that are not ideally their formation, that position, and they've done well. So yeah, disappointing, and it had to happen. Jackie says, glad to get off him. Can't believe Prem wants him. Yeah, I mean, obviously Sheffield United, they're looking to go up, but I mean the way they've started, they'll be lucky to stay up. I mean, still got 0 points, had an absolute dreadful start to the season. But yeah, it had to happen, man. It had to happen for sure. When it comes to that, but yeah, another thing I will get into, and we will talk on is another rumor that come out today. I did talk on it earlier, and that is Lamine Fanny possibly to Italy. Now, the team he is linked with is Cremonese. Hopefully, I said their name right. They did get promoted from Serie B last year, and like I said in the video, it's very weird how their league works. So obviously, there's two legs in the semi-final for the playoffs, but there's two legs in the final, which is mental. But they did actually win via that. And yeah, they got 3 points to the start of the season. They are playing right now, actually, as we speak, and they are winning 2-1. But yeah, they're interested in him. There's been no official bid yet. But yeah, I mean, like I said, and like I've said many times, even when he was linked with the move away at the start of the window to Stoke and things like that, I wouldn't be too disheartened. And that's not because I don't think he's a good player. I just think we haven't played him in the right positions. Whether that's under Edwards, whether that's under Bloomfield, we've been playing him as a cam. He's a CDM, and I think we still need, even if he stays, or even if he got, well, definitely if he goes, but even if he stays, I think we need a backup CDM. It's not a priority because obviously, we've got other priorities, obviously a left wing back. But I look at it and I think to myself, well, if we do keep him, we're not playing him at CDM, and Saville is obviously the main one. But if he gets injured, then what? Through after the season, you're going to be playing players there that are not, none of them are defensive-minded midfielders. I'm sorry, they're not. And I said it in the video earlier, I don't want to get to this stage again where we're sitting there going, oh, yeah, this player can play there because, they do all right there, but it's not their main position. You like to have two players in every position. That's what the good teams do, like I say. And that is what built us the fundamentals, over the years, especially the playoff seasons, having two good players in every position. That massively helped us. And again, like I say, it's not a priority to get a backup CDM, but I do think even if he goes or doesn't, I think we need to fill that. I mean, we were linked with, obviously, I know he's gone back to Northampton, but Terry Taylor, we just need someone because I feel if Saville gets injured in the midfield, we're going to get open up like in the beans, whoever we're playing, because there's no structure there. I mean, yes, the midfield sort of worked towards the end last year when you had Asgard, Clark, and Walsh, but they're all attacking midfielders. And let's be honest, in the end, it didn't work, because we didn't stay up. So that's my only worry. But yeah, like I say, if he goes personally, I wouldn't be too disheartened. I mean, I do still think of some great, not great performances he had. Sunderland away last year. I mean, like I said in the video earlier, you could say in hindsight, oh, well, they're in the Premier League now. But, we could have done better in that game, let's be honest. Both goals down to his mistake. So it's a difficult one because then on the flip side, we haven't seen him where we should be seeing him, which is CDM. So I don't know. Would you be disheartened about this one, Dad?
I don't know. If we're looking at it as a CDM positions, then we do need him. Bloomfield said he'd prefer to keep him. My feeling is that he's looking for the best move possible. He doesn't want to play in League One, and it's down to that. Obviously, we've still got the Canberra. There's probably one player we're going to be stuck with on that big money, and that it probably will be him. Just seems to be no interest in him, and we'd probably take a hit on that if we because I'd like to see if Nakamba's fully fit, he should be able to be a brilliant CDM in League One. You know what I mean? Let's be honest, even at his age. So there's that potential, but I think Lamine probably wants to go. But I haven't seen enough of him. I think he was a decent signing, but he was signed in the aspect that he's going to go back up or whatever. He don't want to be playing in League One, so he's engineering a move. He wants to move, and it probably will happen. We'll see if we get someone in, but I won't be too fussed because it's just how football works, and I'm sure we'll still have a backup no matter what.
Yeah, and the thing is now, we've got to that stage where, again, I said it in the video earlier, do check it out, guys, after this. But I did say we've got to that stage now where a lot of these players that are leaving or rumoured to leave, are Edwards players. And Bloomfield wants to implement his style, have the players he wants to have. So you've got to look here like that as well. But the thing I find weird about this Lamine situation is, like I say, whether we've had Edwards or Bloomfield, we just played him not where he should be playing. And again, he hasn't done terrible there, but you can see in some games, like Sunderland in particular, is one that I can think of. That's not his position. Like, I'm not looking at that Bournemouth game as much as he got a brace. It was good to see. Come on, man. Like, look at the opposition, but with all due respect. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I still, and also them links with that Terry Taylor. I know we haven't got him. He's gone to thingy, but why were we linked with him? Does that not tell you something? Are we going to get another CDM or looking at an option? Obviously, like I say, Saville's going to be a starter, but I just think you need two good players in every position. That's just how I see it. Let me know if you're the same when it comes to that. And then a bit of positivity is James Shea extended his time at Luton. That come out yesterday. What I will say, Dad, is he the new Pelly Ruddock?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And you ain't going to begrudge that. We didn't really talk about it. We said he might go because he wants to play first team football or whatever. But he's a number 2, and yeah, it doesn't surprise me, and he deserves it. Do you know what I mean? Give me 1 second. You crack on.
Yeah, no worries. I'll talk about it. Obviously, again, guys, I know I keep saying I spoke about it in my video.
Hello.
Let me just mute Dad if you forgot to mute it. But yeah, like Shea he's a Luton legend. Like, let's be honest. And I know that word gets thrown out, but there's not a lot of loyalty in football nowadays. Let's be honest, especially the modern day. You got to give massive credit to players like him, Ruddock, because they have stayed through with the team through thick and thin. And it's like I said yesterday. Like, if you've got a keeper sitting there who doesn't mind being a backup, you can't really complain, especially if he's fairly decent. And it's got to that stage with him where, like I said in the video yesterday, other than that Stevenage game in the League Cup where he had an absolute mare, he got done up by a striker, a striker in League 2 at the time. And we were at that game, Dad. And it was an absolute shocker from him. But then I remember the game after that was Nottingham Forest midweek. Had a very good game. Drew 0-0, should have beat him. Had a very good game. And he done very well in that. Like I say, we should have won that, but that obviously went down to him. And Sluga had COVID, so we were all worried. We're like, oh, shit, it could be peak because the last time we played in that was that game. But yeah, James Shea, man, like you got to give the guy credit, and he did say in the interview, the best decision he's made is joining us, and it's one of them where I could actually see him retiring at Luton. I mean, can you see that as well, Dad?
Yeah, definitely. I think like you need these sort of players, and this is where we need to build up more Mister kind of Lutons. Yeah, he's kind of the last of that generation. He's been pretty solid. A couple of but generally he's been pretty solid, reliable. Obviously works well with the other keepers coming in. Always gets on with them. We see the messages. We've heard his passionate commentary, last season and things like that. Yeah, big up. We love Shay. You know what I mean? He's been an excellent servant, and I'm glad that it's been extended for him.
And he's one of them sort of, I guess, old school footballers, if you use that term still. Like, obviously, there was that moment. Do you remember when he got the FIFA cards come in and he was like, I couldn't give a toss. Obviously, we banter about that saying. And, he's not one of them that's like, a lot of these footballers nowadays, not really, obviously, for us, but we have had it recently, like fairly recently. You could argue Chong was one of them where they care about their style and how they look. Don't care, mate. Yeah, it's about what you're doing on the pitch, and shows one of them. It's just like he don't care. If he has to put in a shift, he will. And Bloomfield did stay in that as well. He did talk about when he had that good game against Coventry in the League Cup, and he had a great game. Absolutely great game. Saves the free kick, and since that Stevenage game, anytime he's had to come in, obviously I know he played before that, but like referring to newer times for him, he's been solid. He's put in a shift every single time. Very good at commanding the box, and obviously we do play Barnet on Tuesday, like I said in the video yesterday. Very interesting to see if we play him in that, or we'll go with the under-18s keeper. But yeah, he definitely deserves to play minutes this season. Obviously, Keeley in the league, but these cup competitions, because you got to think, depending on who we get in the FA Cup, if we get knocked out of that, which probably will. Well, it depends who we play straight away, but he ain't going to get a load of games other than that. So. Yeah, I'd give him a go in that. Let him play in that and things like that. So yeah, massive credit to him. Ben says, yeah, Shay definitely deserves the extension. He's loyal and loves Luton. I'm glad he's staying. Yeah, exactly that, mate. And yeah, I know we do, Rich. Like I said in the video yesterday, it's not a priority, but yeah, we really need to get going with stuff. Obviously, the main one is the left back. We both believe, me and you, Rich, that we need a right back as well. Just our personal opinions. They're the main two, but yeah, we need to definitely get them in, get them sorted. And like I said in the video earlier, I'm worried that we're not linked with any other left wing backs or backs since Owen Dodson. I don't think we've been linked with anyone. Obviously, he's gone to Stockport, and that is worrying because that is our main thing. Unless it's one of them where Luke do this sometimes, we just announce someone out of nowhere. Hopefully, it's one of them where that is the case, but. Not too long to go now, as we know, when it comes to that. And then the last thing we'll talk about on transfer news come out late last night, so I had to do another T-Boy discusses on this, and that is Shaden Morris. Yeah, he's set to join Luton Town. Now, obviously, Aberdeen did play yesterday, and he was meant to be in the squad, but he wasn't. And then the manager come out. Well, they were asking him questions, saying Luton Town. He's like, I can't really answer that. But it's obvious it's us, because if you go all over the Aberdeen articles and the articles in Scotland, they're all like, the League One club put in 600k. We know that. It got obviously declined. So, yeah, they're saying on Sky as well, come out this morning, that we're, basically touching 1 million or a little bit less when it comes to getting him in. Now, he's obviously been on our radar heavily. He's another one of them players that could factor being here because he is from London. Obviously, we've got a lot of players that have moved, that have been born in London, coming over to Luton. So that's a massive factor, coming back to closer to home for him, which I think is a massive part of the move. Obviously, Shay is obviously from London. Obviously, we had Burke when Burke was. Obviously, Isaiah Jones come back for that reason as well. The Rotherham player, Hakeem. So we have had that. And yes, I put a post out on TikTok, and a lot of people, a lot of Aberdeen fans, shout out to all of them. Well, not some of them actually, because they were waffling. But a lot of them were saying, we obviously scored He's one of them that's a good impact player. From the start, he's not really great, and there's a lot of repetitive comments. But he's very fast, and he can definitely bring that dimension. Apparently, he's fairly decent at crossing the ball as well. And I looked at a bit of his highlights, and again, you can't judge everything off highlights, but did do well against the better sides in Scotland. Did actually score against Celtic. Did get an assist against Rangers. So there's obviously a player there. But yeah, I just hope we don't put him as a wing back because apparently he played wing back for them once. They were 3-0 up and they ended up drawing 3-all. So don't do that, Luton. Put him as a winger, change the formation, and yeah, let's get a left back in. And then I'll be a bit more confident. But yeah, your thoughts on this, Dad? It's all set to be done. It's just
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's 23. He's obviously got some ability. But maybe if he's in the Championship or the Premier League, you can see it and you'd be developing him. But obviously, I feel like he's going to come straight into the squad. But then, we've still got Izzy Jones who's due to come back, and we've got Kadua as well. We loaned from West Ham, so I'm not too sure. Like, unless he can play both sides, which I don't think he can. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit. I don't know about that, to be honest with you.
No, he can't play both sides. That is a bit of a worry because obviously we were linked with the player from Chesterfield. We did speak on that the other day, Dobra, and he can play anywhere across that three. He can even play as a 10. So he would have been the ideal one for me. But the thing that gives me a bit of confidence is the fact that we have been looking at him for a while. It's not one of them because we know we do panic buy sometimes, and we've been looking at him for a while. So there's clearly something we see which we can use and utilise. But I do feel if we stick with the wing-back formation, I don't feel we will put him there. And if we do, it's a massive risk, given by what I've been told by numerous Aberdeen fans. It would be a huge, huge risk. So for me, I'd be either changing the formation, obviously, hopefully get a left back in, change formation, or I'd be, I guess, bringing him on in games. Because it's not really, he sounds like an impact player. You can't really be starting him by the sounds of it. And even with our starting 11, like you say, with the players we got, even the ones that are available, Kadoa, he shouldn't be getting ahead of him right now. Kadoa's playing well. So there's things like that as well. On top of that, no, he's not, mate. He's just a right winger. He's a right winger, so it don't matter for Ali. He can play as a right midfielder as well, but he can't play anywhere else, which is a bit of a shame, especially the other players that we've obviously been linked with as well. But yeah, that's all of that when it comes to the obviously the transfer news. But yeah, going into the game tomorrow, so we take on Burton Albion. Now, obviously, if you guys know, when Luton weren't playing 1 week, I did actually decide to go and watch Burton with my mate, who's don't live too far from there. But I didn't go there. They were playing at Leyton Orient, so we went to it. So it's actually a League One, I guess, an early League One game that I actually saw how it would be. Even though Leyton Orient's team has completely changed, and so's Burton's, to be fair. Different manager as well. A lot of key players for Burton went. Especially their striker, who's obviously now gone to QPR, Burrell. They had a captain, I think he was the captain, Sweeney. He's gone to Mansfield. So we'll see him at some point. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting test. They ended the season really, really well. But we'll go into a bit of insight like we usually do when it comes to a game itself. So obviously back on the road. Matt Bloomfield going into it, we just need to keep clear minds, go and perform the best we can, just keep calm in the situation. There are going to be times we are really flying this season. There are going to be times we have a punch on the nose like we did on Saturday. We need to stay calm. We need to go about our work and be absolutely motivated to put our best performance out there. Their manager going into it said, with the resources that Luton have available, we know what challenge lies ahead. I think we've already shown in the 4 league games that we're prepared to go and have that challenge. There are lessons that we still need to learn, but at the Pirelli, we picked up 4 points out of 6. So we've got to have a real good go at them and see what happens. And yeah, like I say, they've done really well to actually stay up last year. I mean, I thought it was nailed on that they were going to go down. Like I say, I do know a few people that do watch Burton and things like that. And yeah, I thought they're all nailed on to go down, but they did stay up remarkably, having been 11 points off the pace at the turn of the year. Their manager got rewarded with a 2-year contract. Even though Burton had 4 points from the first 4 games, all of them have been picked up on home soil. So, yeah, they did play during the week. Could that massively be a benefit? Obviously, we didn't. They did play Lincoln, did lose at the dying stages of that game in the second round of the Carabao Cup, somewhere we didn't go. We don't like to go to the next round, really, in that competition anymore, whatever round we start from. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I think it's going to be one where we're going to have to be right on it. We can't be sloppy. Like, obviously, yes, we played better teams like Bradford away and stuff, but I don't think you can underestimate them. They've got a player called Charlie Webster, who I've always wanted Luton to go and get. He's a midfielder. He can play attacking midfielder. He can actually play defensive midfield as well. So, yeah, he's one that's quite highly rated by their fan base and even people else that do, have kept an eye on him. So, it's going to be an interesting game for sure when it does come to that. But yeah, very rare time we played him. And I think the last time we played him was like 2005. So it's very rare that we actually do play him. But should be an interesting game, shouldn't it, Dad?
Yeah. We've only played them like 4 or 5 times. Played them twice. I think in League One and League Two away. Lost both times. But we were in mess them times. They're recently in the conference as well, a few years ago. So they're doing well. But listen, we've got too much for them, I believe. So these at the beginning of the season, you'd be like, Burton away, we should be winning that. Do you know what I mean? These are the games that we should be winning if we're going to go back up to the Championship, and I think that this is one of them games. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I think obviously that they expect a test given by what they've said going into it, their manager and things like that. And yeah, I agree. Like realistically, it's a game you look at and think, yeah, we should be winning that. But yeah, I mean, it's one of them where we have to be on it. We have to be on it. We can't be doing no sloppy stuff or going into it overconfident, because then I think obviously it won't end too well. But we do need to bounce back. Obviously, after that Cardiff game, which we weren't terrible in, but we just couldn't hit a barn door essentially, and that is annoying. It's good that we're having the chances, but you need to be taking them. And tomorrow, I feel if we're on it, there's no reason why we can't win this game, to be honest. And then obviously we've got the Virtue Trophy. It'll be interesting. I am actually going to that. Shout out to Jamie. She did actually win some tickets for that. So I'm actually going to that. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of team we play in that. But yeah, I mean, this game, I'll say we have to be on it. If we're on it, everyone's on it, no sloppiness, then we'll win the game pretty comfortably, with all due respect to Burton themselves. But yeah, going into a lineup for this game, what we'll do, Dad, because I completely forgot to do mine, is I will get up your one, and you can obviously talk on that, and then I'll get mine up for this game. So I'll just get it up quickly now. Do get your lineups in as well, guys. There you go, Dad.
Nice. So obviously stick with Keeley in goal. Same back three for me, because Anderson's looking like he's still injured. Don't forget as well, we've had like a week off. Some of their players have played during the week or whatever. They're still being involved and things like that. I'm putting Saville just in front of them. I feel that he needs to sort of do that. I'm swapping Walsh for Baptiste 100% after that last performance. Sticking with Clark. You're gonna have to stick with Ali on the left for me. But instead of what's his name, the Wolves defender, I'm putting Kadua there. I think he warrants a start, and then I'm going to go with the 2 experienced guys up front. I know Yates is still getting into it, but he's still got to be playing, so I'm looking to start him instead of Nordas, and then Wells as well. So you know, imagine if them two are on fire. Like, look at that team, really. You know, we should be doing bits with that team. So yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have to agree. I have to agree. And the thing is, like I've said with Yates, it took him what did I say the other day? 7, 8 games to score. Obviously, when he was at Blackpool, was the team he was at that season. And bear in mind, like I said, he had a pre-season then. He hasn't had a pre-season. So I'm being a bit more, I guess, cautious with him. That's why I'm not being as critical with him in particular when I look at maybe the other strikers that should be doing a bit better. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think you've got to take Walsh out. Yeah, I totally agree with you when it comes to that. But yeah, I'll get up my lineup now for this game. So this is my lineup when it decides to load. Comes that. There we go. So Keeley in goal, obviously goes without saying. By the way, guys, he's not a starter for them, but Isted is actually at Burton as well. And also another thing, when Shea extended his contract, them nice messages he got from the goalkeepers, that's a pretty cool moment, to be fair. Isted was obviously part of that. Makoso on the right, obviously, he's been pictured in the third. Was that what he was doing when he was suspended, do we reckon? Do we reckon he was getting a picture sorted and all that for that? But yeah, McGuinness in the middle. Again, going to what you said, Dad, there's no Anderson by the sounds of it. Otherwise, I'd probably put him back in. Not that McGuinness has been terrible, other than the Bradford game. He weren't great in that, but obviously he's still getting into the swing of things. So I'd have put Anderson in if he was available over him. Naismith, obviously, on the left. I've gone Kadowa on the right. I feel you have to be playing him. He's been so good in the last couple of games where he's played. Bradford, he was our best player. The Wigan game, that tackle he done, like I said the other day, that was unbelievable for a player who's not necessarily a wing back, a striker as we know, but he can play there. Bramall, obviously on the left, I'm going to put him in because he didn't feature the other day. I can't even remember if he come on, but either way, he didn't start the game, so I'd be starting him in this game. We've had a week off now, be putting him in. Saville, I would put him sort of like how you put him, Dad, where he's deeper. I feel that he's going to work in away games and things like that. He's arguably been, well, on our votings, he's been one of our best players this season, or the best player, shall I say. Clark on the sort of right side of that midfield. Baptiste on the left, I agree. Walsh has got to be taken out. Terrible the other day. The fact he didn't come off at half-time was a joke. And then the two up front, I've stuck with Nordas because Yates is still getting into the swing of things. I'm bringing him on. However, it could be a good game for Yates to, if he does have a chance and it falls to him, could be a good game for him to score and get some confidence. But I'm going to stick with Nordas. I mean, he's having the chances. He's just not scoring. But his link-up play is doing really well. But a player we need to have a better game is Wells. I thought the other day he should have at least scored a goal, if not two. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with them when it comes to them two up front for this game. Obviously, putting Walsh in, putting Baptiste in, putting Bramall in for this game, and then obviously Kadowa as well. So that's my lineup for this game. Do obviously let me know your thoughts and things like that. Jackie says, I like both lineups. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And Rich also said earlier, then it leads me to believe formation change, which can do the usual. Yeah, I don't want to be doing that. But we probably will in some positions. But I don't want to keep going. Like, if Lamine goes, for example, right, you've got Saville as a CDM. Who you going to say is going to be the other one who can play there? Probably Clark. And then we've seen over the years it's not beneficial for him to play there. You want to see him higher up or like as a cam or like in the advanced role, like he has been sometimes this season. So yeah, that is my worry. That is my worry. And I mean, I said it in the video yesterday. I feel if we don't get a wing back, that could be the difference between us going up and not going up, in my personal opinion. So we need to desperately be doing that. And I hope behind the scenes the club are doing something, because the fact that we haven't been linked with anyone when that is the main position we need to fill, that left side, is a bit of a worry for me. As much as Bramall's done okay, still getting into the swing of things. And like I say, say, for example, he's fit, he's raring to go every week. If he gets injured, then what? I mean, so that's how I see it when it comes to that. But yeah, do get in your score predictions. Paul has got his in. We'll get into them at the end. Do get in your goal scorers as well. But yeah, Dad, here's that time. Can we bounce back after last weekend's defeat to Cardiff away from home and get a win in this game away at Burton?
Yeah, I think we will. I think our quality will show through. I think they will score. You know, our defence has been relatively good, but you know, I've got, you know, they'll score and then force us into action or something like that. But I'm going to go with a 3-1 Luton win.
I like that 2-goal margin win. As for me, I'm going to say we win the game. I'm going to say it's a little bit closer. I'm going to go for a 1-0, typical 1-0. I was thinking a 2-0, but I do think it can be a bit of a tight game. A game where we're struggling to score at times and then we eventually pounce on a chance. I can see it being that type of game going into this one. And yeah, we shall see. But yeah, do get in your score predictions as well in the comments, and your goal scorers. Got to be 2 up front. Yeah, that goes without saying. I do believe when Yates is actually fit and ready to go, maybe 1 up front could work with him. I just think any of the other strikers right now, it's not going to work. Because Nordas, let's be honest, he's struggling to score. His link-up play is good. If he's up front by himself, the link-up play, who's he going to be with? And Wells is, I just think he's better at link-up as well, personally. So, yeah. 2-1 to us, says Jackie, for this game. Ben did put his score prediction in the group chat. Very emphatic. I do like that. 3-0. That'd be nice. That'd be a very nice away win and give us a bit of confidence. And obviously, this is the last game now. And then the transfer window is obviously done. So maybe it's the last time we might see someone on the bench and then they end up leaving. We shall see. But yeah, Jackie's goal scorers, Clark and Yates to score. Yeah, given by what you said earlier, Dad, I reckon you've got a bit of confidence in Yates scoring.
Yeah, I'm going to say Yates, Wells, and McGuinness for our goals.
Yeah, McGuinness got close, to be fair, against Cardiff, given that he's still not up to, you know, his best, as we know. But yeah, as for me, our goal scorer, it's difficult, man. It is difficult. I'm going to go, do you know what? I'm going to go Jordan Clark. Jordan Clark to tuck it away for us and get another goal for the season. So yeah, that is how I see it. But yeah, any final things, Dad, you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, Chuck GBT prediction is 1-0 Luton. Same as yours.
Okay, so it's not actually gone 2-1 or 1-1. I swear that's the only other scores he said.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think, you know, we normally bounce back. I think we should bounce back. You know, might have a signing in by then as well. Probably won't play, but you know,
hopefully Shaden Morris, because it's basically done.
And what did we say? 3 out, 2 in the other day? I can't remember. Something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So you know, it's been 1 out, possibly 1 in at the moment. But yeah, by the end of the window, that's what I think will happen. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game.
Yep. No, I do feel if we're on it, it's definitely a good opportunity to get 3 points, like I mentioned earlier. And yeah, we obviously go into this game, you know, with, you know, I'd say a bit of confidence. I do think that we haven't played for a week could, you know, benefit us. And like I say, we had a lot of chances against Cardiff. And if we can certainly do that in this game, then we should at least be scoring, you know, with all due respect to them. But yeah, I think it's a good opportunity to bounce back. I think it's a good game. Like you say, we looked at it at the start of the year and said, yeah, come on, like this is a good chance for 3 points here. So yeah, a lot of people that are going, I'm not going myself, but a lot of people that are obviously having the first visit to Burton. It's very rare that we obviously play them. So do enjoy it, do make the noise for the boys, and hopefully go out there and we get the 3 points to give us confidence. And then obviously going to that Virtue Trophy game, and that's how we'll be going to that. Be interesting to see the type of team we'll play in that. But yeah, interesting. I mean, if we do well in that competition, have another day out at Wembley, I think you can't complain, really. So we'll see how we go in that. But obviously the priority is the league. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. whether you've watched live or on playback, do smash a like. Do watch the videos I've done over the last couple of days. 3 T-Boy discusses in 2 days, because the last week of transfer window is an absolute madness, as we all know. And by the way, Dad, the next show is obviously on Monday, and obviously it shuts at 6. So we're basically going to be reacting to it live, as well as talking about the Burton game. So it's going to be an absolute madness, and hopefully we can have a little review on that, and so hopefully done what we've wanted to do. So yeah, there we go with that. Yeah, if you're referring to the Gillingham game, I totally agree. The one where Clark got 2 goals, wasn't it? That's what I mean. If you play him in that sort of role, there's no reason why we can't. He can't score and be a massive part of this team, as we know, and he is anyway. He's been at the club years, been through Premier League and everything like that. So, yeah, big up to him. Thank you, Ben, for the super chat, mate. Really do appreciate that. By the way, guys, there is a new thing. It's not on live, but there is hype points or something on YouTube. I think if you do that, I think you only get 3 a week. But if you do that, it boosts the channel. And I see for smaller creators like myself, it helps on that as well. So if you guys could do that, that is free to do as well. That would be great. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, mate. Do appreciate that. But yeah, as for content, I'm going to have a little rest now, because I've done so much when it comes to that. But there'll be a video out tomorrow, a little short, obviously, of us predicting the game. And then, yeah, we'll be watching the game together. I'll do a match reaction either way. And if you're up for it, Dad, we might do one together. And we'll see and go from there. And then Monday, will be back again. And Tuesday, I'll be at the game. So I might do a vlog. I'll see how I feel about the lineup and things. But there will be a match reaction from myself. Mike will be there as well. So it'd be good to see him again and get a reaction from him out of that game. And yeah, we'll probably talk a bit on the League One season so far as well. So yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Like I say, smash a like, subscribe, follow me across all my socials, subscribe to the extra channel. And yeah, until Monday, well, tomorrow actually, we will see you in a bit. If not tomorrow, Monday for my dad. Take care and peace. Come on, Luton.